very important that we know our worth. And what's been happening over the years, they trick us and they make us believe that we're not worth what we are. That's why I've always leveraged me or leveraged us. Like, it's like, yo, I'm not gonna just let you take my celebrity and have your product sell from it. I'm gonna take my celebrity or our celebrity and make a product and sell it. I need people and us to know we could do it on our own, we're better than them, and when they come with the bullshit, laugh at them. It's not like they won't work with you fair, but you gotta make them.
Welcome to The Red Pill. I am Van Lathan. Today's episode is Damon Dash. Damon Dash he's a kind of a Red Pill Hall of Famer, a Red Pill pioneer, if you will. He knows all about our slogan, which is the brutal truth of reality. That's how Damon lived his entire career, and he is serving it up in this sit-down. He talks all about his new movie, Honor Up, executive produced by Kanye West, and about his book, Culture Vultures. What is a culture vulture? Who is trying to vulture our culture? Maybe yours. Who knows who you are? Never know who's listening to the podcast. And also, Dame answers some other questions. One being, can Jay-Z fight? He's going to tell us about an underground boxing ring that they had back in the day. This is rappers fighting each other. Some were good, and some were fucking terrible. Pop your pills and get ready for this talk. White people in the room, clap for Dame Dash, man.
All right.
Y'all clap for Dame Dash, man. This is a mogul we talking to right here on the Red Pill podcast. Dash, what's up with you today, bro?
I'm good. A little tired, but I'm good.
A little tired? What got you tired?
We just literally got off a plane from being in the studio with Cam and A-Track doing this Federal Reserve project in Vegas. But we've been working for the last 3 or 4 days, and Cam works at night. So we work at night, and then we have to get up in the daytime at 8:30 and start working because we got to promote the movie.
Now, we don't get into a lot of stuff because you got a lot of content right now. You kind of flooding the block a little bit. But interesting, the last time I talked to you, you had said that maybe you were moving on from music. What's got you back in the studio?
I mean, I have moved on from music as it relates to, like, doing it to monetize it as a job.
Right.
You know, I do it when I'm inspired. So, like, you know, Cam is my brother, and we were just talking about it yesterday. It's been like 3 decades, like 30 years of from before the music, having fun, to during the music, having fun, to, you know, to now, and different chapters, the movies and everything. So, like, if he wants to work and he's inspired, and you know, I know A-Track, you know, for a long time, he has Fool's Gold.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm actually the one that put him with Kanye back in London, you know, when he was, like, years ago. And he has that festival thing, and we work when we're inspired, you know what I mean? Right. But, yeah, we started the project like 3 years ago.
Oh,
you know
shit.
what I mean? But
so what are we talking about when they're putting out an album together? Tell what is the project?
It's you know, I put, you know, what happened was A-Track called me to get with Cam for a record, and I was like, nah, let's do an album. You know what I'm saying? And, like, you know, Cam really didn't know who A-Track was. Right. So, you know, Cam usually just does what I ask him to do blindly, because if I am inspired to do something, it's usually big. Pause. You know what I'm saying? It's not, I ain't gonna just I'm not gonna move for nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I don't get inspired for nothing. So, you know, he showed up, but we did the Dipset, Cheap Dipshits, that we did the video. It was bumping in you know, Hot 97 and every other station in New York. And we're doing other stuff. Like, I started to get, you know, I move when I'm inspired. Yeah. And Cam started to do his thing, and, you know, A-Track's busy. It's like, for all three of us, it's something that we doing just for the love. Word. So when I do music, it's not for money. Like, it's not like there's a deal. We just, you know, we all got our own bread, so we can do things as we want, how we feel, when we want. Mm-hmm. So we just decided, I was doing the screening of Honor Up in Vegas, and I was supposed to be shooting a new movie in Vegas, but I'm not ready. You know, I'm still prepping. But I was like, while I'm out there, and Cam was going to act in it. So I was like, will you come out here, do the movie, do the screening, and then we could just knock the project out. So we did the screening. He missed that, though. But we knocked the project.
Word.
Yeah.
So besides that, it seems like you got content coming out of your ears. This is a big week for you. You got Culture Vultures.
The book, yeah.
You got the book. You got Honor Up. Yeah. Honor Up premiering this week.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. What's the response been like to Honor Up, and what was the experience like making the movie, man?
The response has been overwhelming. You know, initially, you know, I played it for Kanye, and you saw he decided to showcase it through screeners and design. Yeah. You know, merch for it.
That was a big look right there. Yeah. That was a major moment to see you and him sort of back together, full circle where things came from, man.
I think, you know, when your work is good, people gonna talk about it, you know. Yeah. And because it's independent, my approach isn't $100 million in P&A, which is print and advertisement for 3,000 theaters, and it's my pocket. I got with Lionsgate, and it's not exactly what I thought when it's distribution. It's different. It's like I still also got to put up the marketing as well. So you have to be smart about the way you do things, and the only real way to do things independent is to be good.
Right.
If the work is good, you really don't have to pay to get it promoted. Yeah. Like, you can't really pay for cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is priceless. So if you got the cool and your shit is good, they coming to you, and that's my approach. And if you have people like Kanye, who's almost like Michael Jackson, that could bring attention to it and present it in a way, you don't need their money. You know what I'm saying? So I've been able to leverage things where I could do things on my own, but still appear and have just as much reach as the big boys, because my work is good.
When you say they, by the way, I've seen Honor Up. I'm going to give my little mini review right now. The movie is shot beautifully. The story is very, very entertaining. And I'm going to tell everybody, I've been saying this since I've seen the movie, since I saw it. I think the breakout performer in this movie is Mook.
Yeah, Mook is
Murder Mook is a good actor, bro.
He is.
Like, he really, it wasn't, I'm not even going to say it was surprising because I don't want to play my man like that. I'm just saying, had charisma on screen, was holding it down, like, was funny, and then, I don't want to give too much away, but there's something that happens in the movie, like a little twist, and he sold it in that one scene. It's dope. I enjoyed it. Now, let me ask you something. You said you don't have to get their money. Yeah. You don't have to get their money. When you're saying that, who is the they?
Corporations. Corporate. It's not a person, so you can't save the person.
Right.
And no one really owns it. It's like an endless pit of bread.
Why is corporate such a dirty word to Damon Dash?
Because the rules they play by. And corporate, it's usually people who, it's not their money, and they're using other people, a collective of other people's money, but doing what's in their best interest as opposed to the business. So it becomes unfair. And then also, when I say they, like, in this town, it ain't our town. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the corporate part of it, it's not, it's not built for us. It's built for another culture because another culture built it. And I have no problem with that. It's just time for us to build our own. So what I'm noticing is I don't have to do what they do. You know what I'm saying? I make a movie. Like, Black Panther's coming out same day as mine. That's a black movie made by a black director, but not paid for by anybody black.
What does that mean to you?
It means that my movie is a black movie made by black people, myself. I paid for it, I directed it, and it's about us. So I can control the image of us. I could tell you what it's really like, or in an authentic way, as opposed to what's going to sell. So regardless to what, even though it's called Black Panther and it's a black director, he still got to do what they're telling him to do. It still has to fit their agenda.
So to you, does that make the movie in some sort of way less black than what it is that you're doing?
It means the making and the people that are benefit from it are completely less black. There's no black. You understand what I'm saying? So, and that's just, it's no hating on the movie. I'm just saying I'm hating on the situation, and not even hating it. I'm actually loving it because I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. I want to do it my way, what's in my family's best interest. I want to be creative. You know what I'm saying? So when you take money from somebody, it's not your vision anymore. They tell you what to do. If I give you some money, I'm gonna tell you how I want it back. Period. And I've worked with them. You know what I'm saying? And I've worked with them. I'll never really say I work for them. I've worked with them, and when they putting up the money, it's no bueno. Right. I just don't like being told what to do about something that's my passion and my vision. Like, for Paid in Full, I couldn't hire who I wanted to hire. I had to negotiate
I've heard
to
you
get
say
Cam
that before. Yeah.
I got to put my OG in it, Cam, everybody I want, when I want, how I want. I did everything me, and that's priceless.
So a movie like Black Panther that's really being celebrated, right?
And I'm happy about that. I love it.
I get it. Not specifically that film, just as an example of what we're talking about. Do you feel like films like that come from black creative minds, but that are funded by big companies like Disney or Fox or Universal, or any way less significant than things that emanate directly from the culture with ownership like what you have?
There's a different kind of significance. So I'm not going to be prejudiced against the art.
Word.
Like, everybody, actually, culture, black, white, whatever, someone else is usually paying for it. You can't not. But if a director has a platform, like, I would work with, if I get $120 million to play and showcase.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is I'm gonna do the same thing. Probably the same day I got the movie I'm doing for them, I'm gonna have a movie that I did for me. So I could just promote them both. I could use that 120, whatever million in P&A to promote my shit too.
Right.
So there's a strategic way to work with them, but the significance value is different. So yeah, you could say the lens was good, the acting was good, all that's great, but that's an art. the making of it, but putting out a movie is an art as well.
Right.
And the art of, because we did this completely ourselves. Like, we had to put up our own bread. We had to figure out how to get it edited. I underestimated post. You know, when you hand it in and do some kind of a distribution deal with a Lionsgate, you have like 60 or 70 pages of deliverables. Yeah. It's not easy to put something out.
Yeah, almost every time I would hit you up, you'll be working your ass off.
It was crazy. Yeah. Like, I didn't know it was, honestly, I didn't know it was going to be this hard. Pause. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, in the meantime, in the meantime, well, you know. If niggas be like, they'll freeze frame it, rewind it, Instagram it,
right.
And certain friends of mine will be real funny about it. You know
right,
so
I got you.
You never been, Cam is ruthless.
I got you.
Call them, they don't care. They pause. You're gonna get laughed at no matter what. But anyway, it took a lot, and in between that, I shot another movie. Mm-hmm. So now, also, I'm like, not only am I gonna give you one movie, it's gonna be two, and I'm gonna start another one. I'm not gonna stop. Yeah. Like, I'm gonna hit you at a rate you've never seen before. Like, it's not gonna be a movie company that can mess with me because they can't make the work like I can. I know how to do it. I got the camera. I know how much the potato chips cost. I know everything because I learned it. When it's your money, you look at everything. So when you shooting, time is your enemy. You only got 12 hours to shoot, maybe 3 more in overtime. So every second got to be accounted for. I don't have time for you to be sitting around, potato chips or breaking down some lights and be taking 30, an hour to break them down and then, a lunch break for an hour and then an hour to put the shit. That's 3 hours out my day.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
You really get anal about every little thing, because you want your bread back. But when it's somebody else's money, it's all right.
Right.
It don't matter if you get an overage.
Yeah.
But shit, that matters to me. So, when you have that kind of investment in it, like anything else, you're going to make sure you get your bread. So even though I was tired and I didn't want to do it, I had to do it because I had bet the house money. You understand? And Rocky was like, she believed in me. Like, don't fuck the house, fuck the marriage. Go believe in yourself for once. Stop using excuses not to invest in your own art. And I was like, all right, let's go.
Right.
That's all I needed was the green light.
I feel like a lot of people in terms of, and I don't want to just sort of limit this to Black Americans or anything like that, but that's what we are, so that's what we're talking about. I feel like ownership is the next step in the evolution of us culturally. You know what I mean? There have been different...
In a general, for that to be the regular mentality, because it was always my mentality.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you,
Day one.
It's been your mentality, but it hasn't always been championed by a lot of other people.
It was never. I was looked at as like crazy. Like, you want to own it? You don't want to work for them? Why are you yelling at them?
Right.
Like, they robbing us. Like, they, you know what I mean? Like, it was crazy. It was
but did you ever see because I remember the infamous Breakfast Club interview, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember the Breakfast Club interview, and I watched it, and I would watch it because me and Charlamagne would talk, and I would watch the interview all the time. I would watch watch it all the time. The reason why I would watch it all the time is because whenever I felt complacent in what it was I was doing, I would watch the interview and say, if you ever really want to take a chance on yourself, this is kind of the mentality that you have to have. But at the same time, I did have a job, and I was working, and I was sort of paying in, and I still am paying into somebody else's dream while I figure out how I'm going to construct what it is that how it is I'm gonna leave my mark in this world. Does that mentality even focus into you? Do you get that?
100.
Right.
But that was the mentality I needed people to have.
Word.
So I wanted to make it so whack to have a job that you're like, I'm going to do anything not to, even while I have one. I wanted you to be like, I smell like I got a job. Like, I wanted it to be like that. You know what I'm saying? Just only because it doesn't make sense to buy Jordans and belt buckles and your kids ain't got nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I just was trying to change the mentality, and it worked.
No, listen.
It worked. Like, you can't, like, sometimes, people sometimes try to tell a teacher how to teach something they don't even know. And they get mad at how you teach them. It's like, how you gonna tell me how to tell you something you don't know? You're not listening. I told you already 10 different ways, and you haven't listened. So usually my last resort is to be animated and aggressive, and that usually gets things done.
Right.
And it did.
Yeah. I mean, listen.
It is what it is. If we get to the chip, anyway, even if it sacrifices people liking me, as long as it works, and as long as we get to the chip, B. You ain't gotta like me now. You'll love me later. Pause.
Let's talk about Culture Vultures real quick. I read the book.
Yeah.
What inspired you to write it, and what is a culture vulture to you?
Well, what happened was, Kenyatta was coming to my house and cutting my hair, and he's talkative, but I respect him. He's an entrepreneur, and what he talks about is it was never no bullshit. It was always about empowerment. He had gone through a lot. And, I'd be like, why don't you just write a book? You know what I'm saying? Because he's the guy that if I have to do a project where I need different people, like if I got to get with Rizzo or Raekwon or somebody, because everyone that at that point in L.A. that was, when from New York or the East that was coming would get haircuts, but he knew everybody.
Yeah.
But everyone respects him because he's a good dude.
Right.
So it was like, all right. So he wrote a book, and then he started to interview me for the book, and I was like, yo, just you might as well just bottle that up and put it out, give it away. You know what I'm saying? People they need the info.
Yeah.
And after that, we just decided let's just take the conversations that we've had over the years, because Kenyatta's been there from the day Rockefeller was over, because the barber's there. So he was there when he was there for the conversation. Like I was like, yo, it's over, and Big was like, it's over, and he was like, what? And like, we done, man. He was there for that. And then he was there for like everyone trying to bomb on me and call me all kind of names. But you got to remember, he come into my house to give me a haircut.
Right.
So he like, how they keep saying you broke?
He's seeing what your real situation is.
He like, why? But it's like, and then also my plan. So I'm like, yo, let him think. Like every single thing I said, everything like for the last 10 years has been conversation documented. Like I wanted people to see it while I was doing it. If I'm struggling, I will show you. Like, yo, I'm going through it sometimes. The money's out there, but I'm gonna do what I got to do. But it still looks like this.
Yeah.
And then also I was like also proving, once the internet and this thing about if your work is good, they coming to you. I was like, I don't really have to be outside every day. I don't need to be jumping around on every red carpet and jumping on stage and be in every event. Like I kind of want to be with my girl and my kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like if your work is good, I could do that. And I wanted to prove that as well. So we did that. And we just decided to just take those conversations and turn it into a book. And it's just a couple of years. Like I guess we wrote it about 3 years ago, to be honest. It's like after Honor Up. So really, part 2 of Culture Vultures is going to be like, did any of that shit work? So now what we're living now is part 2 of Culture Vultures.
I see.
But also it's about, and to answer your question, that's why it happened.
Right.
But to answer your question about the culture vulture thing, it's like a culture vulture is someone that makes money off someone's culture but isn't of the culture, doesn't live the culture. He exploits the culture. He doesn't give a fuck about the culture. He doesn't care about the culture that he's exploiting, the kids, none of that. He has no respect for it at all. He's unapologetic, he's brazen, and he's consistent. And I just wanted to in my conversations, everyone that has been from another culture that has robbed me on any level, whether they're even from the same culture.
So I'm asking because you have Steve Stout in the book, not to mention,
No. I always believed he was a culture vulture because he didn't care about the artists that he worked with brand. So like I was always against when he did the Reebok deal for Jay. I was like, you can't put your full name on a $19 sneaker. Like shit, that's his name. You understand? But he did it so he could get the commission. Or things like that, or put Mary J. Blige with Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's like, that's not good for her brand. Yeah. So, and he makes whether it hurts their brand or not, he's still going to benefit from it. So of the moment, and then in my years with him, like he would do foul things. Like he was the guy that like we were Rockefeller was supposed to be at Interscope. He came and assaulted that deal. But then we was at Sony. He came and assaulted that deal. He was always playing Iveen against Tommy Mottola. Like it was always bullshit. Like he tried to snatch. I told him I was doing the Clue deal. He tried to go behind my back and give Clue a deal. I had to run up in the office and be like, that ain't that happened. Like so he did a lot of foul things to me. And then when like you remember he was Nas's manager.
Yeah.
So he went from Nas's manager to Jay's best friend.
To being down with Jay.
And all it was because when Nas was rolling, he was there, and when we was rolling, he just was. And then I just didn't like that stuff.
And you feel like that was something that someone of the culture wouldn't have done.
Well, what he did with me was when things were going on, like, I'd be reading stuff in the paper, and I'd be like I'd call L.A. Reid and be like, yo, what's all that shit in the paper? Steve Stout called us and said this, and he went to, like, I'd be like, God damn, like, you know what I'm saying? And then there was a time, and what happened was I was so aggravated with the fact that he just had no loyalty to anything but the dollar, and that he was trying to bring that into my environment that, we got into a physical, I put my hands on him before.
Yeah.
And I don't advocate that, but he had disrespected something that came from, like, Honor Up. He ass bet me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he bet me some money, and he was like, I'm not paying you. And it was like, I had to. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing I could do. So that happened. So he's always...
Around what time was that? Is that early in your relationship with him, late in your relationship with him?
Well, with Steve?
Steve Stout, like
that. I used to like Steve. Like, he's a funny guy to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why people hang out when he's personable. But, like, me, I have morals and principles. So once I see somebody doing disrespectful stuff to other people, I tend to get away from them. But, like, he was the one that told Jay, like, yo, you don't have to pay Biggs and Dame. And that's why Jay made that business move, like, because they would be like, we'll do the deal without Dame Biggs, and Jay chose to do that. But he was the one that was like, you don't have to do it. I'll be the Dame. I don't want to be in the front. And that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? So, there's that as well. But I just think culturally he doesn't do what's in the best interest of the culture. I always think he does what's in the best interest of the dollar. But I don't like to spend too much time talking about people.
I feel you.
It's in the book. Like the book isn't really the bomb on people. It's just to show people my perspective on, like, if there's a child molester in the community, like Lior to me was like a child molester, like a culture molester. Like he just take it, wear it out. He didn't care. Like he's the one that gave Jay the option. Like, yo, you don't have to do the deal. You could just do it right, and we ain't even got to deal with Dame no more. We'll give you more money.
Right.
Not the, if the option wasn't presented, homie wouldn't have did that. You feel me? Now he's an artist. I'm cool with that. I'm not even like tripping. I almost expect that, but it's them I have problems with. They even tried to make us have a problem with each other. Like they presented it that way. They did it. I never had a problem with him. They made it like that. Right. So when people that worked with me look like they have a problem, I sit them in a room and say, work this out. And then publicly, it's like culturally, we can't be looking like this. They promoted it.
Right.
So my beef was like, yo, stop making it like I got a beef with a rapper. I got a beef with whoever thinks he's a CEO. Can put a CEO against a CEO. It's very important that we know our worth. And what's been happening over the years, they trick us and they make us believe that we're not worth what we are. And I'd be looking at it like, that's why I've always leveraged me or leveraged us. Like, it's like, yo, I'm not going to just let you take my celebrity and have your product sell from it. I'm going to take my celebrity or our celebrity and make a product and sell it. I saw that game. So it's just about perspective. So that's why I'm trying to change perspective. Like, I need people and us to know we could do it on our own. We're better than them. And when they come with the bullshit, laugh at them. It's not like they won't work with you fair, but you got to make them. So if they know you smart, they like bullies.
Right.
A bully, they're not going to swing on somebody that's going to swing back. They're going to be your friend after that. Yeah. So sometimes you got to regulate. But, maybe that aggressive shit comes from my survival on the street, which is why I made Honor Up.
Yeah.
So, and if you notice, I put out Honor Up the same week I'm putting out the book.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It seems to be a sort of a symbiotic relationship between the two projects.
It's so you understand. Like, Honor Up is about life before Rockefeller.
Right.
It's a real story. You understand what I'm saying? Like, the characters are real. Like, Cam was younger than me, and I'd be on the block, and we'd be kicking it and shit. And because I had the juice with the older dudes, I was kind of powerful with the younger cats. And, it was like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's still like that. Cam and I still making movies. And now I'm making movies with my real OG. Right. And that's where honor gets you, longevity. Like, most guys have a 3-year run, a 4-year run.
If that, yeah.
We got a 30-year run. Only reason why is because we always have been honorable with each other. Never, ever will we do something that's against that moral code, that fabric that we came up from when we had to survive in a real extreme circumstances, which is very authentic. And we've applied all of that, and look what we get. Like yesterday, I was talking to my OG, to Daniel. He was mad because of the stuff that had happened with the screening, because the sound was off or something. And, he was tight. And I'm like, yo, could you imagine 10 years ago if you would have said the thing you got the most to be mad about is the fact that your screening sound didn't work of a movie you're starring in that's coming out? Like, you can't be mad.
Right.
And our problems now are different.
Why do you think that because there are a couple of things I want to get at. Number one, your message is so clean cut, it's so evident. Why do you think a lot of people would ask, because I read the book and I know other people have read the book, and it's an incredibly enlightening book. You actually touch on some things in the book that I personally didn't think you would have gone into. You know what I'm saying? It's very, very, it's a good read. Everybody go get Coach Vultures. It's a good read.
And also it's audio.
It's audio.
Listen to it. For those that don't like to read, they can listen. Right. And I'm speaking over some cool music. My son made the music.
Is that real? Yeah, see, I read it on the side. I didn't even know that. You got the whole thing going. Why do you think it's important? Because you've talked about the names of different people. Why do you think it's important to talk about actual individuals when you put these books out?
So when they come through, they're accountable. Since I've talked about Lior, he's changed the way he approaches us.
Has he? How so?
Ask him. Ask somebody that deals with him. I don't deal with him, but I've seen it and heard it. He has to come through knowing that. See, before you sat at the table, you weren't like, oh shit, is he a culture vulture or is he not? Before he was Lior, a big boy. Now he's culture vulture or maybe, and he has to address it. He can't he used to talk with disrespect toward our culture. He was too fucking arrogant. I wanted him to fucking have some humility with my culture. Right. Talk to us with some respect. Don't just talk to us like you're doing us a favor. So now he has to act like we doing him a favor. He's not going to just rob us, and if he does, he's going to do it politely. If you're going to let him, he's going to do it different. You understand what I'm saying?
Fuck with it.
So when you label somebody, now they're aware of you. Now he can't rob you. If I tell you he's going to rob you and you let him, then it's your fault.
Right.
It's my responsibility to do that.
Why do you feel like that, Dan?
Because that's what we're supposed to do culturally. Look out for each other. We're supposed to learn from each other's mistakes. If I see somebody that's doing wrong, but I've been doing that. Even like with Harvey Weinstein, with Charlie Wack. The guys that are in my book years ago, for some reason, they all coming out now, and I didn't have to do nothing to them.
Right.
And the crazy part about it is it goes back to what I always say to everybody. Women are the most powerful. I have called out these guys for years. Nobody listened. When a woman says it, you're going to listen because they're powerful. And they took the power. They're the ones that took those guys down. Right. They're the most powerful. Women are the most powerful. Trust me when I tell you.
That's a part of sort of your whole philosophy that I don't feel like a lot of people are talking about.
And that's another thing that the women thing, I was talking about that years ago.
Yeah, no, you were.
Now it's in style now.
You were.
I always was saying that. I felt guilt a long time ago.
Even in the Breakfast Club interview, you were saying invest in women, have some good women, empower women. Just why do you feel like that's so important? Obviously, we see now.
It's the truth.
Yeah, I get you.
It's like.
By the way, I'm apologizing to my mama for asking that question. I was asking to get Dame's opinion on it. I'm not saying that I don't think that women are empowered. I just want to know. I want Dame to break it down.
It's just logical, man. Women have to take care of men when the men don't take care of the men, and they do it often. And my generation was like, if you had your dad in your life, it was like a big thing. Like they're married, your father's around. Like I would see my father on weekends. That was the norm.
Yeah.
And it made me not want to be that as a man. But also when I watched what my mom did for me, and then how happy I am around women, and then only people that have ever hurt me really have been men that I've tried to help. So again. Scientifically, you break it down. We got testosterone. We're trying to fight, and we always want to be number one.
Wants to be number one.
And you should be. That's a man. But then you got that man that because he got taken care of by his mommy, he's not really a man. He wants another mommy, so he wants everybody to take care of him. And that what was happening. It's like men are starting to it was starting to be in style. Like I was seeing a generation like, yo, I got this girl got money. She takes me out to eat. She pays for this. It's like that should come up. Like that's dope. Yeah. Like you should be ashamed of yourself. Like I don't even care if a woman has a pocket full as a gentleman, which I'm taught and which I know as a man. I want to make sure that I handle all of that just as a gentleman. If she want to pay and because she's on her empowerment thing, I'll be like, you could do that, and I'll let you if that makes you feel good because you're the woman. You're in control. Right. But I would prefer to give you. I prefer to pay.
Right.
As a gentleman, I prefer to open the door. I don't want my woman to do anything she don't want to do ever. I don't want another man telling my woman what to do.
Right.
Meaning a boss. I couldn't do that.
How do we invest into women by investing into men? And what I mean by that is a lot of what we're seeing in society in terms of the way women are being treated is because men don't have the right blueprint on how to approach a woman, how to
because their dads didn't teach them.
So I'm saying though, as
wrote
a guy,
book about it.
Right, I feel you.
Make a movie.
As a guy that feels like it's your duty to impart this, like as black men, as men, period, in society, how do we instruct our brothers and other men on how it is that we nurture and empower women? Like what has to happen?
Accountability. So if you see another man treating a woman bad, you gotta be like, I'm not. Like there's men that I've heard beat their women, and I really don't mess with them. I don't even owe them a conversation about it. You understand what I'm saying? But there are men that will look at a man beat another woman and still work with him. And then as men, we have to teach. The reason why a man doesn't know how to talk to a woman, like that's your dad's job to teach you. I taught my kids how to get girls.
Right.
I taught my daughters everything a man's gonna say. Like I'm a hater. Like on that type. For my daughter, I tell them everything. You know what I mean? If she comes across a Dame Dash, get away from her. You know what I'm saying? Like young Dame Dash. I know all the lines. I know why they said it.
Yeah.
There's no reason for them to get tricked. I know everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell them everything. And sometimes I think about what if I really wasn't there to guide them? Who would have guided them? Who would have told them those little things? Mm-hmm. And a lot of young men don't have other men telling them nothing. Mm-hmm. So that was the reason why Kenyatta and I started to do the hip hop motivations. Yeah. Because if at least you could hear me. I'll be that male fifth. There's no dad, no uncle, no OG. I'm gonna at least just tell you as I've experienced it. It's funny when I see people throw seminars about making money and they ain't got no money. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm not really doing it to make money off it, to monetize. I think the more rich people there are that are good, the more protection I'll have because they can always help me get in power. That's the concept of circular success. So the same time I'm entertaining you, I'm always be trying to teach you. Mm-hmm. Because that's all I know, really. Right. And it's always based on personal experience. My last name is Dash. I've lived a lot. I do a lot. I don't stop. So with my experience, I learn, and as I learn, I teach, and I think that's our responsibility. But what I do know is the teacher always gets persecuted by the people that want everyone to be dumb. And the people that want everyone to be dumb, they do it because they're personally making a lot of money off of people's foolishness. And that's what this whole world looks like to me sometimes. Yeah. So I'm like, yo, I'm not going to be that guy. I'm going to be that guy that's going to educate you. That my jewel to everyone else is to give to like people learn it and they hide it because they don't want no one else to get it. Right. When I learn it, I'm the guy that passes the connect. I'm the guy that's told you every single thing. Like when I get with an artist, I teach him how to be self-sufficient. And that's the dumbest thing in the world.
You actually say that in the book that you feel like you taught Jay-Z and Kanye West how to be self-sufficient.
You think it's a coincidence that Kanye and Jay-Z and Kevin Hart and Lee Daniels and Cameron and Rachel Roy and all these other people that you probably don't even know I had like a lot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like even down to Floyd Mayweather. Like, you know, we really used to hang out and talk. Because when you come around me, all I'm gonna do is talk because it's my life. It's really just learning and being better and evolving. And as I'm learning it, I'm teaching it because I'm talking about it. It's my topic of conversation. See, when somebody's topic of conversation is bubblegum shit, that means they only doing bubblegum shit. Yeah. If you're doing a bunch of hot shit, that's all you got to talk about is the hot shit, right? When you have a good experience, you talk about it. Right. I just keep having good experiences, so I'm not talking about nothing but good experiences. Yeah. Nothing but what I just learned by experience. And if I see somebody along the way that's hurting me and other people, I'm going to say, watch out for that person. Watch out for that person. So watch out for Leo, watch out for Charlie Walk, watch out for Harvey Weinstein.
Why do you feel like you get so much pushback on some of this stuff?
Because I'm Damon Dash.
What does that mean now?
Because I'm not saying what everybody else is saying. I say what everyone else is not saying. I say what everyone else is scared of saying. I say it first. I say it unapologetically. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, why do you think Batman was looked at as a criminal? Why are superheroes always looked at as criminals?
Batman was a criminal.
What was he doing?
It was against the law to dress up like a bat and beat people up at night, I'm pretty sure.
I think he was doing it to people that were beating people up.
Very true.
So if you see somebody getting their ass whipped and it's like a man beating a woman, would you jump in?
Yeah, I definitely would.
So then you'd be Batman.
Oh, okay, well, that makes sense.
Would you be a superhero or a villain? Would you be a criminal or a good guy?
I'm just asking you a question. Dash me right now.
I'm Dame Dash. What you talking about? What, you want me to be somebody else? How you gonna tell Dame Dash not the Dame Dash?
I fuck with it. No, I got you.
Could you answer that question though?
No, seriously. No. If I see some foul shit going down, I'm definitely jumping in.
So you become Batman?
Yeah.
So you're a criminal in that respect or a superhero?
I'm a superhero.
Why did Jesus get hung up on the cross? He was a good guy.
He was.
It just happens, bro. It is what it is. The good guys get persecuted the most. Right. I learned that really young because I read the Bible and I saw that. I was like, damn, he's only telling the truth. They hanging him up.
This is why I say that.
So that's probably why people are afraid to tell the truth because the truth tellers get hung on the cross.
That's what I'm saying. But
you can't hang me on the cross.
That's what I'm saying.
About it like that.
Some people seem to be aware of the cross, be wary of it, and don't want it. You seem to say, fuck the cross.
I don't have a choice.
Not like that.
You know I don't have a choice because they always messing with me.
Right.
So it'd be like, yo.
But why aren't you afraid to be crucified?
Afraid of why? I don't really care about what people think because I'm in my own world. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't care. Like say what you want to say. Like the minute that I care what other people think, I lost. You done. You cooked. Because people are always gonna have something to say about something they're afraid to do. Yeah. They're always gonna have to overcompensate. Like I know this already. You know what I'm saying? Like to be liked is to be hated. To be loved is to be hated. Because people are going to hate you because people love you. It's always going to happen. So I don't really see the pushback that you're telling me. I don't hear that. When I walk down the block, I get thank you, Dame, pounds. I've never had somebody run up on me and say anything negative like you did this corny nigga. None of that. It's never happened. It's always been that because they know all I want to do is help. Word. So you're going to be mad at me for helping? If you mad at me and give me pushback, then you need to look at yourself. You need to push back. You know what I'm saying? Like look in the mirror and look at yourself serious and be like, damn, how can I be mad at someone that's trying to help? Yeah. Just because I don't like the way he say it. Yeah. Like that's semantics, bro. Listen to what I'm saying. If you're dumb, you don't hear me. All you hear is my tone. Hear what I say. Right. My actions speak louder than my words. I don't talk a good game. I walk a good game. Everything I say, I do. Period. And that's why I wrote a book about it. I did it prime time. Even if I'm gonna jump in the ring with a professional, I'm gonna let y'all tape it. Yeah. Did I not?
I saw that.
You know what I mean? Like what the exposure was there. The exposure was there.
What Dame was referring to is
I'm gonna do it.
Something that we got on TMZ Sports a little while ago. He actually got in the ring with Andre Berto.
No, Andre Berto actually got in the ring with me. I couldn't believe it.
Yo, listen, if y'all think I'm bullshitting,
it's on tape.
Go watch the clip. It's still up on the site. And Dame is in there with the former welterweight champion of the world, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you got some work in. You gassed out a little early in that round.
I was tired. You know? as soon as I caught him, I was done. My purpose was to show him.
I mean, listen.
I caught him lovely.
You got him. And
that's
then,
my purpose. I did it.
Right. And then.
But I don't need to be doing nothing else with that. Once you catch a heavyweight or a welterweight champion, I'm good.
Right.
But you know what's funny is, he came to my crib and we were talking. I was like, yo, I'm gonna punch you in your face, like, cause we be talking like that and shit. Cause I used to promote him, and he did some bullshit and shit. Him and his man. So I was like, all right, one day I'm gonna get you. And he always be like, you better not. But like, yo, you drop your left too low. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just hit you with an overhand right. And I told him that, and I did it.
It's on tape.
And I went to his gym and made him get in the ring. Like, yo, get in the ring, B. You talk to. Let's go. And we did it. We had to do it. I don't mind getting hit, B. I don't mind rumbling. That's the thing. Like, to be great, you gotta fight.
Right.
If you think you're gonna be great without getting hit, then you're never gonna be great. So you have to be ready for punishment. Now, you're a boxer, you know what it is. Look, you got the knuckle and all that pause, you know what it is.
Yeah.
And you know the gratification you get from getting beat up and standing.
Right.
You know how good you feel to get hit and hit somebody back. See, I'm a boxer, so fighting is part of winning.
When you've taken those shots and it's over and you still standing there and you're not dead, you're like, I could do this again.
Right.
Like, you feel empowered. You feel like you've conquered something.
There's
in
no
yourself.
loss in a ring when you
Right.
give 100. Even if someone gets the best of you, as long as you gave 100, you're proud, right?
Right, yeah.
And that's the fighter I am. As long as I give 100, as long as I'm fearless, I don't mind getting knocked out because I'm going to get back up, but you better be ready.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I've been boxing since I was 16.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's always been my mentality, man. Like, it's a one-on-one. For me, it's a fair one. I don't need to use no gun. I'm going to just get you with my hands. We used to have the fight club. So it was me, Jay, Skane, Heavy D, Q-Tip. Q-Tip's nice. Q-Tip will knock niggas out.
Dame is breaking news about hip-hop guys that
I thought everybody knew that.
I didn't know.
Yeah, that was our shit. We used to go to Chelsea Piers, and I used to box. Jay used to box. Heavy D used to box. Q-Tip used to box. Who used to come through? But that was Skane. That was Clues Man. Skane used to box.
You got to rank these guys for me, best to worst, right?
All right, I'll tell you who the best besides me. Like, Heavy could fight.
Right, but he was in a different weight class and all. Rest in peace.
But I used to box him though.
Right.
Like I said, one time they put me in there with. You know what? I'm gonna see if I could get my boxing coach that had us.
Yeah.
That all of us, and he'll tell you. But the one that was really nice was Q-Tip. He could fight.
Q-Tip.
Q-Tip is nice with his hands. He'll knock. Actually, he's not the one. Trust me, he could fight. He's a nice guy, but he could fight. Like,
out of all of those guys, I wouldn't have expected you to say Q-Tip.
Q-Tip was out of them. I would say Q-Tip was the best. Q-Tip, like, you'd be surprised.
So at this time, did you and Jay ever box each other?
Yeah.
Man,
but I always
y'all
would
friends.
Never,
Yeah.
No, we were like me. I was almost like instructor status because I had been fighting
because you had been fighting your whole life.
Yeah, like I was definitely the champ in the gym. Like, I had knocked dudes out and shit, like, with both hands. Like, I was knocking niggas out. Like they would, because the thing is, you wouldn't think I could fight. So, like, my coach would try to bring people in from Brooklyn or something that was like tough, and I ended up stretching them. Like, I'd fight. Like if you were, that's why I don't mind fighting pros, because I came from a gym 112 Mickey Rosario, and I used to only fight pros. You know what I'm saying? He was crazy, so he just used to put me in there with pros all the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I never was afraid to fight, but Chelsea Piers, it wasn't like
50 used to fight a little bit. They say.
I'm sure he did. He looks like he had a rough life. Shit, since they made it fucking movie, he better have fight. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I can believe it. I think everyone has done the, like, boxing lesson, and I'm not saying anyone. I want to see if I can get him on the phone, but everyone's done boxing for working out, but like it's a culture, it's a lifestyle.
Word without yeah.
So I don't know. Hey, Mr. Dos Reese.
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
What's happening? Hey, I'm sitting here live on this podcast, and I was telling them about our old fight club. Who used to be in the fight club?
You, Jay, Q-Tip, Heavy D, Skane,
See?
Bunch of people.
Okay, now let's.
Wes Johnson.
Wes Johnson. Yeah, we used to fight too. He could fight.
Wes Johnson, the actor?
No, the sportscaster.
Oh, the sportscaster. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so let's take me out the equation. Who is the best out of all of them? Because we all know what I used to do. I said Q-Tip and Heavy.
Q-Tip and Gus.
Yeah, see,
Heavy was good too.
me.
Yeah.
See, he tried to put me in there with Heavy without a headgear on. He's a heavyweight.
Y'all wasn't wearing headgear when y'all was making.
He wore one. I didn't. He caught me once. I was like, nah. Remember that?
Wow, y'all stepping in there with no headgear
He
on.
was being funny because I was the funny guy. This is my coach. He wanted me to get knocked out so bad because I could pop shit. Right? And I used to knock motherfuckers out. Right? How many knockouts you seen me? How many times you see me knock somebody out in that gym?
few times.
I haven't heard anybody mention Jay. Could Jay fight?
At first he couldn't. He was like Pee Wee Herman. At first he couldn't, but that's great. And I thought I was gonna have, and I trained him, a bunch of people. But after a while, he got it together. And Damon used to always say, Jay, you could go see, train Jay. I said, listen, I'm not going to train nobody who doesn't want to train. But then I understood why Damon wanted him to train so bad. Because he couldn't bust a great. A girl would have beat him up.
Yo!
The first time he got in the ring, he got waxed. No. But I thought he wasn't going to come back no more. But then he came back. And about 3 weeks later, I put him in the ring with the same guy, and he did what he had to do.
Word.
Because he got embarrassed. But he got it together after a while.
Yeah, but I used to put hands on
He was like 10 bodyguards.
Oh, man.
Man.
Yeah, but he trained us all. So that was Mr. Dos Reese.
Man.
Oh, that was live. Hey, Mr. Dos, I'm gonna call you right back. Stop, man.
All right. Now, it's a lot of kids.
A fair one.
Right.
It's always about a fair one.
There's a lot of kids around here right now because there's a term that you use in the book, corporate wealth. There's a lot of people out there that don't know what you mean by saying corporate wealth because especially when you're coming from an underprivileged situation or a situation where you're not around a lot of rich people, all money is good money to you. Doesn't matter who's paying you, doesn't matter where it's coming from. The money that you've gotten has gotten you out of your situation. Why isn't all money? We talked about it a little bit earlier, but why isn't, break it down for people why all money isn't good money as far as Damon Dash is concerned.
I mean, to me, like, for number one, money's not the win for me. It's about really.
It's not.
It's about playing the game fair, and how happy I'm going to be. So if you got $1 billion and you're unhappy, are you wealthy?
No.
If you're sick and you have $1 billion and you're about to die, you can't walk around, you got no toes, are you wealthy? If your kids are unhappy, your wife's unhappy, you're unhappy, it don't matter how much money you got. That's number one. So I'm not going to just do anything for money. But also, like, when it's for things that compromise your morals and principles, like, that dollar's not worth the karmic repercussion of it. So even though it might be quick money, because of the fact that you can't look at yourself, because of the fact you did something against your conscious moral principle, karmically speaking, the laws of nature is something bad's going to happen to you, or at least something that's going to make you learn your lesson that's going to be uncontrollable. So it doesn't make sense to put yourself in that position to do something, because it's like the person you can't escape is yourself. And you got to do right by your heart, your integrity, your soul, what's good for what you know better. And once you become conscious, you have responsibility. So if somebody gives me $1 to do something that morally I like, or from like, I just know in the long run, it's not going to feel good.
Have you ever
No.
done something that
No.
you felt like was morally?
Not morally, no. Like, I've done things in the moment. Like, there's things that I realized might have been morally wrong. You know what I'm saying? But in that moment, I thought I was morally right. But as you get older and you evolve, there's definitely things that at this age, like, you can't expect a 21-year-old to act like a 47-year-old. You know, it's experience in between. So, of course, I look at things, and like the whole Rockefeller, I wouldn't have done. I wouldn't advise kids to sell drugs. I wouldn't do that. Right. I wouldn't make records about that. I wouldn't empower other drug dealers. I would never do that. You know what I'm saying? Not right now, only because I got children.
Right.
I felt bad years ago. I was like, damn, I got daughters.
You told me that we actually we talked about this on an interview before. You told me that even like the Hey Poppy video and some of the videos and stuff like that, you felt a little conflicted about the portrayal of women in those videos.
Well, when I looked at it,
yeah,
like, I remember Ava's mom, when she saw that, she cried. And I was like, damn. And then I was thinking, like, damn, what if someone did that to my daughter? Like, even if she let him, I'd have an issue with that person. So right. I almost was starting to feel like one of those guys' brothers, one of those girls' brothers or fathers
right.
is going to be mad at me. I'm going to have problems. Right. It might come from anywhere. Because I know if that was my daughter and somebody did that to me, I would feel completely disrespected, and I would feel the need to go to jail that day. You know what I'm saying? So, when I had kids, I was like,
and we're talking specifically about the champagne and some of the stuff like that.
I would really be disappointed in my son if he did that. I wouldn't want my son doing that.
Even though you'd be disappointed in him, even though
I taught him better.
I know, but how old is he now?
26.
He's 26. So even though he hasn't had the same life experiences that you've had in your life, meaning that he hasn't had the maturation process that you've had, the fact that you know, when you're 24, 25, 26, 21, like you said, you wild out a little bit, you'd still be disappointed on them even though he was young?
I think if a male figure pulled me to the side and was like, yo.
You didn't have that. They didn't do that with you.
I didn't have that. So, but he did.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would be embarrassing to me. I wouldn't want to see my child like no. Because the thing about it is, and you know, my daughters, like they look at it like that. Like if I do something like the other day, you know, Rocky was in the kitchen in Tallulah and I couldn't help it. I scolded her butt. And, Rocky, and
but that's love, though.
But Tallulah was like, my daughter's, you know, she's 9. She's like, would you like it if Alex did that to Ava? You know what I mean? So at that point, every single thing I do, I think about if I want that to be happening with my daughters.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So I moved. That's basically what got me out of hip hop. Really, you know what I'm saying? I needed to raise my daughters. See, that's what people understand.
You don't feel like you could do that inside hip hop?
I have a bunch of men that are insecure and walking around with guns and all type of other problems, and have my daughter around that.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that. I couldn't have my daughter come to the office. I changed my life for my daughters. You know what I mean? Like once Tallulah came, and Tallulah was the first baby I ever had when I was married. Like I did it right, and I raised Ava. I got married to Rachel when Ava was like a baby, so I was there for all of that. You know what I mean? But I just was like, my life, I can't do anything where I can't take care of my kids. And then I started to have my inspiration be the people around me that inspired me, and that actually ultimately became Raquel. So I started to do the festival stuff, the live instrumentation, the art galleries. Like, people don't even talk about, this is how I really know. You're aware of the DD-172 days, right?
Sure.
Why would you think, like, I have the biggest gallery, bigger than any office in hip-hop or even music, 10,000 square feet in Tribeca, a television network, a gallery on one floor, a music factory, like studios all over the place, making real good music. I mean, in the most aspirational, like, why do you think no one commercially ever talked about that?
I think I know why.
That's strategic, though.
But there's another reason why.
Why, you think?
Because
like I'm opening galleries around the world, but no one's speaking on it in my culture.
I'll tell you why. It's because, or at least then, maybe not now.
And own Rachel Roy. Like
for us, when we looked at you guys, especially, I'm going to speak for me, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, when you guys were a part of my formative years, right? Mm-hmm. So when especially at that point, when I thought about what I wanted to be, when I thought about how I wanted to be, I thought Rockefeller.
That was the problem.
I know, but think about it though. So when I'm imagining myself being around beautiful women, going to beautiful locales, doing all of these things.
Time out. None of that stopped.
And I get it. Okay. I get that none of that stopped. But
all
remember, it looks, it's a lifestyle to me, or at least then when you were a kid, that was intoxicating and almost invigorating to imagine yourself to come from meager beginnings and get to that.
That's the reason why you don't talk about the art gallery?
No, what I'm saying is the art gallery was something tangential to that. The art gallery wasn't a part of the way, it was an evolution of Dame Dash, and it would have taken somebody with the mentality that looked at you as a CEO.
But when Warhol did it was a big deal.
Well, that's how he started. So if you're looking at Warhol, right, if you're looking at Warhol and that's what you want to do, then that's what you want to do. For me, right away, whatever you guys were doing, we were interested in it, but it took a little while. It took a while for brothers from the hood to even be able to appreciate art.
I made sure they appreciated art.
Right.
That was so this is what's happened. Let me tell you what happened.
Yeah.
I saw exactly what you're saying. The problem was that we were glorifying drug dealing and treating women bad, and that's what the kids wanted to be.
Well, I never wanted to be a drug dealer, but I just wanted
to be us. That's what you wanted to be.
I didn't want to be a drug
How was
dealer.
you going to get the chains? How was you going to get the girls? How was you going to get the stuff? How was you going to do?
I was going to go to grad school, and then
that wasn't how you was going to get that.
Oh.
Not by that age. Then that's like oxymoron.
Right.
If you wanted what we were, then you wanted to do what we were doing to get it. Period.
Okay.
You can't have it without doing what we're doing to get it. Period.
Yeah.
So that was what the problem was. We had people involved and thinking the win was really the loss. So being disrespectful to women looks like a W. That's wrong. I got to make it look like an L.
Without a doubt.
Selling drugs looks like a W. I got to make sure that having a job looks like a W. I have to make. So I've had to fix all those things. Everything you're saying, number one, all my firstborns and all, like, they've had the problems that I've been promoting. So I'm promoting drug dealing, so one of my kids is obviously going to be on drugs.
Right.
I'm promoting maybe people that are gangbanging, then of course one of my nephews is going to be a gangbanger.
I see.
You understand?
And
so
you don't want that to be followed.
It's happened.
Right.
I'm telling you, that's the karmic repercussion. It happens.
Right.
The shit you making money off that's bad, it ain't going to hurt you. It's going to hurt what you love the most, your children and your woman. Nigga, I lost the first woman I ever loved.
Right.
To me, I always looked at it as karmic. You know why? Because I broke a lot of hearts. And I know what it is to have a broken heart. Now, I will never do that to a woman again.
Right.
Because I know what it is. And every woman that heart I broke got to see my heart broken.
Right.
It's karma.
Right.
It just is what it is. You can't avoid it. You know, the energy you put out is the energy you're going to get back. It's mathematical.
All of the guys right now that are kind of indulging into the same thing, they're going to deal with this at some point as well.
At some point, but it's going to be something beyond their control. Like when you get punished, it means you get something that you can't control. You can't prepare for life's punishment or learning curve. You know what I'm saying? And again, once you know something and you still do it, the punch comes harder.
Right.
Because you did it. Now you're conscious. It wasn't a mistake. Whether you know it or not, you got to learn it. And life might teach it to you, but life is harsh. So it would make sense to listen to somebody as opposed to going through it. I mean, it's just logical. So I just try to bring logic in the game. The things that I know now, if I'd have known then, things would have been different. But everything was a learning experience, and I like exactly where I'm at, so I'm all right with it. It's okay.
Right.
I'm still ahead of the game no matter what.
Right.
I'm still putting out movies on my own, paying for them on my own. Still got liquors on my own, though.
Yeah.
Have streaming services on my own. Everything's on my own. I can say I did these art galleries on my own. No partners. And I'm proud of that. That's priceless to me. It might not be priceless to somebody else, but I want that to start being priceless. If I'm influential, I'm going to get influential about, taking care of your woman, taking care of your kids, being independent, being conscious, eating healthy. That's all I do.
Right.
It's all I do. I just do it a different way. I do it cool. I make being conscious cool. That's what I want.
Right.
You know, I don't want like being healthy to be granola.
Right.
You could be, we vegans and stuff. It's just smart to be vegan. You know, you don't make your body work so hard. You want to live longer. You know, the number one cause of cancer and diabetes is disgusting meat. So why would you eat it? But they'll make you think it's all right because you're born into it. And sometimes you got to shake mentality, man. You got to give a real perspective, the logical perspective. It's all about the logic. It's not about emotion.
Right.
It's about 1 + 1 = 2, no matter how you feel about it.
Right.
So it makes sense to treat your woman right. It makes sense for your kids to come before anything else, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It makes sense to do things on your own so you can pass it to your children so their life can be easier than yours. That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So why don't people do it? It makes sense. Like, again, I've been a single dad since my son Boogie was 8. You never got Damon's a single dad. Like, well, how come they never portray that positive image of a black man that's in hip hop or a black man, period? But the minute a rumor happens, it gets promoted. Like, I've watched this happen. So I know what the world's like. I'm like, I could be doing everything I do good. They try to make it look bad. And if you say it enough times, people believe it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Right. 2 more questions I got to ask you. One's a little tough. You mentioned Aaliyah in the book. I've lost a lot of people close to me, but they weren't famous. So that's something that I get to experience personally, right? When you look back on something, you're going through old pictures, you see somebody. To have had the type of relationship with somebody like that, and then on their birthday or people sampling their records and you continuously reminded of it, is that hard? What is that like?
No. I already knew what that was when it happened. It's actually lucky. So, like, my mom died when I was 15.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could hear her voice.
Yeah.
I wish I could see pictures or videos of her and all this other stuff. Every single day, if you look at anything social media, there's always a picture of me and Aaliyah or something Aaliyah or everything. Like, people really were impacted by Aaliyah. I get to hear her. So when something's going a certain way and I hear her voice, I know that that's an actual sign that either I should be alert or I should talk, something. It's like validation. There's times that, Rocky and I are talking about something and, like, we'll get goosebumps and shit when Aaliyah comes up. I can feel her presence, So to me, it's a good thing. Once you get over it, like in the beginning, when I walked in a club in New York, they knew don't play no Aaliyah. But I needed that time to mourn, to get strong.
Word, yeah.
But what you got to learn to do, everyone has death in their life. It's just a matter of when. That's what's imminent. You're going to die. It's going to happen. So it's not an experience that's extraordinary. But, I was able to have that experience with somebody that people actually loved as much as I did, that I didn't know. Right. They really have genuine love for her. And I get to hear her records. I get to see her voice. I think I think I'm lucky. What I mean? Like, I'm always look at the best perspective, not the worst. You know what I mean? But, the life that I've chosen and the only life as an adult that I know how to live is this one. And it's always been public. So I don't even know life that I've always had to not care. Like, the minute you care about what the public thinks, you're over. You can't be a celebrity and care what the public thinks. That's the worst thing. That's like, depression.
All right. Now, you're working back with Kanye West. I'm not going to ask you about specific people because I know not to. You're working back with Kanye West. That makes people start to think that one day we're going to look up on a stage and see all of the Rockefeller guys back together again. That at some point there's going to be a time when you, Beans, everybody's back together.
People gonna be on crutches and be like,
what are the chances that we ever see a reunion of all the Rockefeller people back together in some capacity doing business in some kind of way, Dave?
I mean, I think at this point as men, it's all about money. I don't think it's about whether people like each other or what they think. If somebody wants to get paid to do it, I'm sure they'll do it. But like, for me, I never, when I was young, I was like, I'm not gonna be like the old dude on the stage. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit looks funny to me. You know what I mean? But I'm not an artist in that way. So, for the right price, I don't think it'll ever happen for free.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I think if everyone got paid a certain amount, everyone would show up. Business.
In terms of the way things broke up, though, do you think that there's any value in the message of you guys coming back together for anything?
See, the thing is,
and this is not to get into why it happened or what happened after that. You know what I'm saying?
I want you to understand my perspective.
Yeah.
So, like, for some people, like maybe for you, the most fun thing that I've ever done is Rockefeller, right? And that's been a big deal. But the things I've done in between have been so much more fun to me. And the reason why is because I didn't have to do it with a gun. I didn't have to be worried. Like running around the world in the art galleries and the clothing lines and doing fashion and writing books and doing the Diabetes Network. Like, I'm doing so much. I would have to stop all this evolution and then backpedal back and get back into this mentality.
So it's not even something that really interests you as much.
Not in this very moment, I'm really loving being a dad. I'm loving being healthy. I'm loving being like a husband. You know what I'm saying? To wifey for lifey. I'm real, like, back then I was trying to architect my life. It just got to now. Like, I'm making movies that don't have, like, I've just got a whole new brand. Like, Poppington has nothing to do with Rockefeller. It took me years to do that. To make people see I'm not that guy. That was not my point of view. So I finally got Poppington and Dusko Whiskey and Dusko Blue and Damon Dash Studios and Poppington Clothing and I got I'm instead of like I'm not walking in with a bunch of dudes. I'm walking in with good feminine energy and good people. I'm working. I'm clicking. I'm doing what I want to do. Why would I stop? Because you got to remember at that time I was putting other people in position.
Yeah.
I don't want to stop and go back to that old mentality. And I'm evolving right now. Maybe like when I'm done evolving, but I don't know if that'll ever happen.
Right.
So you might ask me, do you want to do a DD 172 reunion? There's like different generations want different things from me. So one generation wants Rockefeller, one generation wants DD 172, one generation wants Culture Vultures, one generation wants Health is Wealth. Yeah. Now it's going to be a generation that's going with Damon Dash Studios and Honor Up and all that. So I'm continuing to make new history. Yeah. I don't like pushing old work so much, especially when it was, I got to go back to what I was thinking back then. Like, you know how much arguing I was doing back then? I never argue now. I laugh all day.
Dame.
I can't yell in front of Gov and Raquel.
I feel you. Yeah.
Like, what I'll do is I regulate, not my people. I protect my people from other, like, if I'm doing, I know what I got to do every now and again. Yeah. But, like, on a regular, like, in a business where everyone's not so bright, it's a frustrating thing. When people get paid to be a front person, not really that business. Like, you get paid to say you're a president, not be a president. It's hard for a real businessman to function, man, because they don't understand what you're talking about. Like, I can really only talk boss talk. Like, when we talk, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not talking about nickels and shit. I'm always talking about, like, I want to buy a team or I want to have a network, not a show. I want to have, a portfolio of liquor, not one. I got, I'm not coming with one movie. I'm coming with three. Like, my boss, I need to be around people that talk like that, and that's not what you're getting in that industry, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's just frustrating. So I became a person a connoisseur of music that appreciates it. Even when I did shit like Black Rock, you know about that project?
Of course.
But nobody else does. Yeah. I even put white people on. I did rock and roll.
Right.
Nobody knew or saw the Black Keys on TV.
It's the first time I ever heard of them, to be honest.
Exactly. I did this because I had to get that off my bucket list. It was like, I don't want to be a big rock star. If I did hip hop, I want to go see if I could do rock and roll. And I did something beautiful. It was artistic. I did it independent. Didn't really try to monetize it to the extent that I could have. I didn't exploit it. I did what I could do on an independent level. We just had mad fun. So I'm loving all of these things. I'm having so much fun doing them. Like, when it looked like I had the most, I had the least. Right. When it looked like I was the happiest, I was the most unhappiest. Right. And I suspect that's everybody because, I know I remember that look.
Right.
you like really being upset, but you gotta act happy.
Right.
I know that look.
Right.
You know, I get it. I know walking on that red carpet 300 times and being sick of fucking taking pictures, but you gotta do it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I know the pose. You
Right,
know what I'm saying?
right,
Like, so now seeing it, you know, me, I have hindsight. I see things people don't just from experience. I know what I don't want to look like. You know, to me, you know, I don't know what it looks like to everyone else. I'm worried about my eyes, my kids' eyes, and my girl's eyes. I'm having a lot of time spending time working from the pool.
Yeah.
I like being like what I learned was, you know, I'm working all hard and I go on vacation. I'm like, wow, I really love vacation. I love it better than work. So then why wouldn't that be my life? You know, I'd rather fucking be on vacation for life and go to work for vacation. You know what I mean? Switch it up. Yeah. Work for 2 weeks and chill out, or at least make your environment and architect it where you can, you know, relax, you know, enjoy the fruits of your labor. Your family enjoy it. Like if your life is better on the road than it is at home, you got to fix things.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not one of those guys that want to be on the road 200 and 300 days out the year. I hate being on a tour bus. You got to love that shit. I don't want to do none of that. Like, it's like breaking your back, man. You know.
Last question is a question we ask everybody.
But no disrespect to anybody. It's just not for me.
It's not for you.
Yeah,
I get it.
You know
I get it.
I like making these movies.
We ask everyone this question before they leave the red pill, because we've dealt with a lot of people. We've had Tay Diggs, we've had Charlamagne the God, guy that you know, and you're our third guest. If Dame Dash, say 1995, 96, when Reasonable Doubt was first blowing up or whatever, could see Dame Dash today, what would he think?
High five it. He'd be like, you wrote this script and you shot it. Everything you said and everything you thought, that shit happened. There'd be a lot of I told you so. A whole lot. From 95, come on.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of doubt for everything I do. I could win one thing and still doubt for the next, and I still do it and it still works out. It'd be a lot of I told you so. It'd be like for me to look at Dame Dash, I'd be hyped. I'd be like, damn, you still got a bad girl. She's fine. You got the bad. You still got one. You came up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you know when you are 23 and 24, you're like 47. You think you're gonna be cooked.
You think it's over?
It's not over.
Yeah,
bro.
you think it's over?
Yeah, I'm still looking good. You know what I'm saying? I'm still there. I'm probably 5 in the old me right now.
Got you.
Making those choices.
Right.
The choices I made that look like poor choices were really the choices that I'm really happy I did make. Like I chose not to go a certain direction and go with my heart. Right. And what made me happy, regardless to how it was looked at. And I almost had to Machiavelli myself so I could focus.
Word.
You know, that's another thing. Is like, I started to do shit and it was big, but certain people just didn't know it because I didn't want them to know it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be in the same room as certain people. Yeah. I just didn't. If certain people, like, if they're in the room, I think I'm in the corny place. Right. I'm in whack world. Right. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is to get the fuck away from whack world. The cooler you are, the more you want to get, and the more confident you are, the more you want to chill out. I ain't got to go outside.
Tell everybody where they can get this content, bro. Honor Up is in the theaters, and you could also get it the same day on your local cable carrier on demand. It's on iTunes, Amazon, all of that. Culture Vultures, everywhere that you would buy digital. It's all digital right now. You can order the physical, but like iTunes, Amazon, Kindle, all that. Big shout out to Kenyatta. And then also, we just yielded our first crop for the G5 cultivation in Vegas. Oh, tell me about that a little bit.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I mean, Larry.
I have to sample some.
You should. But it's all going. It's flying. It's crazy. The governor wants us to make more. It's really crazy, and it's beautiful.
Well, tell people what you're doing with that, because I don't think a lot of people know.
Well, the G5 cultivation, it's recreational in Vegas, and Larry brought me in to come and market it and be a part of it, and because of that, and do other things, ancillary things with it. And we are growing all kinds of beautiful weed or cannabis, and the good thing about it is in Vegas, they don't really want you to be able to sell weed. Like the drug dealers, they're like bankers, you know what I'm saying, and the legislators that pass the laws. And it's so heavily scrutinized, like we had to build the building from scratch because it has to be so clean. It can't be no microbials. It has to be cleaner than food. You know what I'm saying? So when you could grow and grow and grow, and when you bring it, because they got to inspect it. If it doesn't pass the test, it's a wash. So we have the cleanest cannabis as well. And there's a demand for it, and this is our first crop, since it's been recreational, and it's just for a guy like me, it's It's unbelievable. You know what I'm saying?
You're loving it.
I'm dreaming. You
You're
know what I'm
loving
saying?
it. Yeah.
To be alive right now is a beautiful time.
I feel
But if you even look at the movie 3 years ago, I was like, in a couple of years, weed's gonna be legal. Like I was saying all of it in the movie.
Yeah, in the movie.
So it's like everything I visualized, even the diabetes network, you know, being able to make a network about something that's supposed to be a weakness. And I'm trying to make it and perceive it as a strength and show people, you know, my personal, like, the thing is, I'm going to show you my weakness and I'm going to show you my strength. But anyway, you can get Damon Dash Studios. You can see all the content, you know, and that's our streaming service.
Yeah.
And if you want the clothes, you can go to poppington.com. And you can get the clothes. And if you want the movie, look out for the list. That
oh,
starts,
my God. Y'all, let me tell y'all something right now, man. Let me tell you something right now. Movie coming out with Brian J. White. Shout out to Columbus Short and Claudia Jordan, called The List. Me and my people were fucking going crazy.
And they're going to expect that one.
That movie is so entertaining. I made calls. Man, listen, I really think that I love that movie, man.
No,
that's fucking hysterical. It's just it's out of the box. You gotta be ready for it. Out of the box. But I can't wait for y'all to see that, man.
Different. And I just wanted, because you were telling me you box, and you know I'm a boxer. I love boxing.
Sure.
Tell me about this.
I'm boxing. I got
You said you're going pro.
I'm going pro. June 9th. I got a pro fight down in Memphis.
This obviously isn't for money, right?
I mean, somebody's getting paid.
But my point is, you're not doing it this is gonna be your first choice, or just a side?
Oh no! I'm not doing it I make a pretty good salary. I'm doing okay. So
you're doing it for fun.
I'm doing it to prove something to myself. I'm doing it for me.
So the win is within.
Yes, all me.
And that's what we get to take from this. The win is always within. You got to make yourself happy, even if it means getting punched in the face. Because to practice boxing, the practice means you get hit every day.
Every day. Somebody punches me in my face every day. And it's fighters that are more experienced than me. Okay,
so you're going to go pro without an amateur fight?
I'm getting my amateur experience in the gym.
Listen to me.
Well, we going to different gyms, and I'm sparring against different guys.
There's headgear.
There's headgear,
but an amateur as well. Yeah. It's a little different, bro. I promise. Like I boxed my whole life.
Yeah.
You could ask any boxer. Okay, now you're fairly new, right?
Yeah.
I know when you get into the ring, no matter if you think you're gonna win or lose, the butterflies are crazy.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're in the gym where you don't know anybody and it's a bunch of people watching.
Now imagine if you're fighting someone that is going to try to take your fucking head off in front of your girl.
But see, dang, when
They're not going to stop.
When I go to these other gyms, these niggas is really trying to knock me out.
What you're doing, I've done before.
Right.
So I know this.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, I go in the gyms and I fight. It's nothing. I'm telling you that because I know the butterflies, right?
Yeah.
You know, I had to learn how to get past it. I don't have them no more at all. But I used to have them heavy. Like, no matter who it was, because there's always a chance you might end up on your back.
Right.
When the butterflies, to get into a ring with someone that's going to try to murder you in front of everybody, and it's not no stop. Hey, don't hit him so hard. Like, whoa. No.
Yeah, right. It's boom. Somebody trying to lullaby.
You get tired. You can't. And there's rules. Like, you see, the thing is, when you fighting with a ref in a ring, it's different than sparring. Because it's not a ref in the ring when you spar. It's your fucking coach. So things. So you think you got to.
It's like, it's Jake. Let him work the left a little bit. Like,
trust me.
Right.
Get a couple of amateur fights. Just even if it's a blue collar joint, like go to wild card, and just go in there and just see how it is when it's not a controlled environment.
Right. But you're gonna come to the fight either way, though, right?
Yeah, I'm almost tempted to move around with you, but I just want to know how good you are. You know what I'm saying?
Well, listen, bro, I got
my shoulder hurts. I'm almost tempted, but I'm not gonna do it because you know, if you knock me out or something, it'd be like, that's what you get, Dame. Nigga, man, just knocked your ass out in front of everybody. I could just see it happening.
Bro.
You know how much they would laugh?
Who?
Everybody. Me. I would laugh. My kids would laugh. They'd be.
If you caught one, you feel like your kids would laugh?
What? They're waiting for me to slip. Because when you win a lot and you like talk shit, like I'm not.
You got one loss. That's real shit.
Listen. If I trip on something, they fall out. If I bite my tongue, any slip of cool,
right?
Because they're not used to that. So me out of pocket, yeah, they would enjoy it. But they know I'd get up and they know what it would be. I would keep going. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know. They've seen me do everything, my kids.
White people clap for Damon Dash again, because that's incredible stuff right there. All right, we out.